Ahoy, and welcome back to Leia's Library. Find yourself a cozy corner, get yourself a cozy drink, and let's get started. Today, listen, I'm overworked. I'm so tired. This is the closest thing to a day off I'm getting this week. I just want something nice. So today, we're going to be looking at 5-star reviews of some of my favorite books. This is entirely for my own benefit, but I hope you can also benefit from it. So let's get started. So first, I thought we would start with a classic. That is also one of my favorite books of all time. It is Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. And since we're in November hello Hamlet. And so we're still getting the lingering effects of spooky season, I think it's thoroughly appropriate. So, let's begin. So all the reviews I'm going to be reading today are on Goodreads. So this first one is a 5-star review from Stephen. It starts with, "My apologies, but this review is going to be a bit frantic due to my brain being so oxygen-starved by the novel's breath-stealing gorgeousness that I'm feeling a bit lightheaded, so please forgive the random thoughts." I'm so here for it. First, Mary Shelley, I love you. Same. Second, dear Hollywood, you lying dung pile of literature savaging, no talent hacks, you got this all wrong. Please learn to read and get yourself a copy of the source material before you, I don't know what that word means, ruin it again. I agree. Again. When I first read this book, way back in my Sejep years, I was genuinely shocked to find that the monster talked, because I had also only ever seen the, movie depictions of him where he's just a shambling, moaning monster. And then I read the book, and I was like, why did you do... Look how they massacred my boy! Continuing on. Third, my heart shattered for the monster, and I haven't felt this strong a desire to hug it out, bitch, since reading Grendel and Crooked Letter, Crooked Letter. I haven't read either of those. The wretch is so well drawn and powerfully portrayed that he forms the emotional ligament for the entire story. He is among the finest creations the written form has to offer. I really like that. I still think the thing that I love about Frankenstein is that none of the main characters are black or white, good or bad. They're all quite gray, some a little bit worse than others. Victor. But so even the monster, he does some despicable things, but you understand why. Some more so than others, and obviously this won't be the same for everyone. But yeah, he really is the emotional ligament for the entire story. I like that description. This review goes on, it continues to go on for very long, so I'm not going to read all of it, but I will skip to number 8. Speaking of tools, Victor Frankenstein is a giant one. As far as I am concerned, he is clearly the villain of the piece. However, what I found so squee-inducingly magical about Shelley's writing was my degree of vacillation when it came to Victor's character. I liked and even admired Victor in the beginning of the story and found his personal journey compelling. He was a genius driven by his desire to unlock the secrets of the universe and had that manic, mad scientist focus and necessary to the accomplishment of such a lofty goal. However, once the birth of the monster came, I found myself waffling back and forth throughout the rest of the story. Ironically, his moment of success and his reaction to life he had conjured was when he began to lose his humanity in my eyes. Interesting. I understand why people would sympathize with Victor in the beginning. I, for one, did not really. To me, Victor at the beginning read as someone who is desperately trying to justify his actions and is like, no, look, really, I'm not the bad guy here. Listen, look, I had this idea and I thought it was such a great idea and it would have been so great for science, and I did it all for science. It was for science. It was for the world. It wasn't for me and my ego. He didn't fool me, is my interpretation of that. But you know, it's a very, very old book. There are going to be several interpretations, and it doesn't mean that anyone is wrong. That's a lie. Some of them are going to be wrong. But, you know, we can talk about it. It's fine. We're adults, for the most part. I actually have no idea what my audience is like because it's too small for me to get analytics on it yet. That's okay. I don't mind. This next review is another 5-star review from Emily May. Did Frankenstein scare me? Did it have me staying awake and sleeping with the light on, jumping at every slight creak in the house? Was I terrified of the monster and technology and the dangers of playing God? No, because the beauty of this story is that it isn't the one so many people think it is, which is almost my favorite thing about it. This book is not a Halloween kind of story with a Halloween kind of monster. This story is heartbreakingly sad. I like that. Yeah, it's true. It's not abjectly horrifying, and it's not a monster story in the same way that Dracula is a monster story. It's more just a lot of philosophical pondering wrapped up in a sci-fi monster story. So yeah, that's also why I really like this book, is that it's just a lot of pondering with also some really cool things going on. So this one is from Isabella, and Isabella read it twice and made 2 different reviews. So the first review is, all this time I thought I didn't like classics. Turns out I just hadn't read the right ones. I can't help but feel empathy for Frankenstein's creature and abhor humankind for its prejudice and malice that drove this creature to murder when all he craved was the warmth of companionship. I will never forgive modern media for making me believe that this story was about a mindless, incoherent creature incapable of stringing 2 words together, whose only destiny was to kill and be evil, when in actuality all he wanted was friendship. I, too, relate to his absolute emo vibes when he says, hateful day when I received life, and I was benevolent and good, misery made me a fiend. Make me happy and I shall again be virtuous. I'm just like, yeah, exactly, he gets it, he knows. I appreciate that. And the second review is, scientists just don't reanimate corpses like they used to, and it's disappointing. I really like this review. I wish we could like reviews. Can we like reviews? Done. I've been on Goodreads a whole year and I'm still figuring out how to use it. Okay, so next we're going to go with a new recent favorite of mine, which is Nevermoor, The Trials of Morgan Crow. And I read this book for the first time this year, and I love it so much. And I've read the second one so far, and I also love that one just as much. So I'm really looking forward to the rest of the series, but let's see what other people thought. So this first one is by Emma Giordano, and she says, this book is absolutely enchanting. Nevermoor is an exciting fantasy tale full of magic, mischief, and wonder. I cannot recommend it enough. Same. Nevermoor is by far the only book I have read that comes close to bringing me the feelings I have while reading Harry Potter. It remains creative and unique while instilling the same emotions, excitement, and fear of one of the greatest childhood novels of all time. That being said, Nevermoor truly stands on its own as a spectacular middle-grade adventure that will leave you craving more every time you set the book down. True. And it's great because you get all of the whimsy and magic and wonder of Harry Potter without all of the problematic elements of its author. We don't condone J.K. Rowling on this channel. This next one from Mary Urban just says, great, now I have to wait with bated breath for my Hogwarts letter and Wondrous Society invitation to arrive. 1 was hard enough, 2 is just unfair. I never actually thought of that comparison before. That's actually funny. Oops. This next one from Riley says, me, I don't really like middle grade. Nevermoor. Hi. Me, talented, brilliant, incredible, amazing, show-stopping, spectacular, never the same, totally unique, completely not ever been done before. Yeah, except I actually like middle grade, typically, so. But yeah. Yeah, I just really love Nevermoor. It's so charming and whimsical, and it just makes me feel like everything's gonna be okay. Okay, let's do one more. Let's do Dreadnought by April Daniels. So Justine says, I love Danielle's journey to come to terms with her identity, both as a girl and as a superhero, and her discovery that true empowerment has to come from inside. This is a great series starter with so much potential, and I'm very much looking forward to the next part of Danielle's story. Yeah. I also just really love this series. I love Dani as a character, and the first book you really get to watch her come into herself and come into her own power of like superhero, but also just as a person, as a girl, as the girl she was always meant to be. And it's so heartwarming, even if there's a lot of like not so great things she has to go through to get there, namely misogyny and transphobia. But yeah, when she gets there, it's just so nice. I love it so much. So Kara Babcock says, am I reading that right? Yes. Is there a name for this situation where you keep thinking you like a certain genre, but you're almost unfailingly critical of every book in that genre you read? That's me in the superhero novel. I want to like superhero novels, desperately. Superheroes fascinate me, but most superhero novels I've read don't quite capture whatever ineffable quality of superheroes that I'm looking for. So I end up reading superhero novels and then feeling let down, and it's not entirely the fault of those books. Turns out that Dreadnought is the superhero novel I've been waiting for. I was looking forward to Dreadnought just from the description, but I didn't expect it to be so funny. It's Danielle's humor that first made me suspect I'd be giving this book 5 stars, and then she includes a snippet. Yeah, that's the thing I often forget about Dreadnought, is that it is actually very funny. The whole series, there's a lot of really good humor in it. Just really well-written humor. The whole series and everything is just really well-written. This next one is from Jenna. What a wonderful way to spend a day. Dani was such a lovingly drawn character that I found it impossible not to fall in love with her myself. While the book was a bit bleak in places and Dani certainly needed her super strength to carry some of the burdens she was handed, this was still an empowering story that ended on a high note. Yeah. She ends the review with 4.5 stars rounded up, and please, for the love of all that is good and holy, let something terrible happen to Grey Witch in book 2. I agree. I just really like this book a lot. And that is it for today. I'm sorry it was perhaps not as interesting as some of my other videos, but I needed this. And I hope you still enjoyed at least a little bit. Feel free to let me know your thoughts on any of these books down in the comments. If you'd like to find me elsewhere, you can find me on Instagram at Leia Like the Princess, or you can also find my little embroidery and art store, Moonlit Cat Creations, or you can go directly to the website at moonlitcatcreations.com. Until next time, stay cozy.